Narcissists abuse people. There's no debate about this. They cause suffering. They harm people. They hurt people. There's no debate about this either. I am the guy who coined the phrase narcissistic abuse. I was the first to describe narcissistic abuse in the late 80s and early 90s. I know a thing or two about narcissistic abuse. And yet, there are numerous misconceptions. First and foremost amongst them is, how do narcissists see their own actions? How do they regard their own choices and decisions, misconduct and behavior? Do they consider themselves to be abusers, perpetrators, or do they have a different slant, a different angle on how they comport themselves throughout their lives? This is the topic of today's video. How do narcissists regard their own abuse? My name is Sam Vaknin. I'm the author of Malignant Self-Love, Narcissism Revisited, the first book ever on narcissistic abuse, and I'm also a professor of psychology. Before we go to the topic of this video, I would like to clarify a few things. There are self-styled experts online who claim that narcissism is genetically determined. Well, it stands to reason. I think this is the case, but there is no evidence, no rigorous, serious evidence to support it at this stage. Making such claims is irresponsible. Even more so, when these very same self-experts claim that, self-styled experts claim that narcissism, pathological narcissism, involves intentionality. The abuse is premeditated, intentional, planned, goal-oriented. They are confusing, of course, psychopaths with narcissists. Additionally, there's a contradiction here. If pathological narcissism is genetically predetermined, then the narcissist's actions are predestined. They are programmed. They are not intentional, they are not deliberate, they are not goal-oriented, but they are the outcomes of genetic programming. You can't have both, I'm afraid. Next is the debate regarding whether narcissists are self-aware. And I repeatedly say, narcissists are aware fully of their actions. They can tell the difference between right and wrong, and they do make choices and decisions, and they can turn off their narcissistic behaviors, for example, when they're afraid. In prison, the narcissist is terrified for his own life and would tend to become a lot less narcissistic. He would play dead. But awareness of actions is not the same as awareness of motivations. Awareness of actions is not the same as awareness of one's beliefs or values, doxastic or axiological conformity. Awareness of actions simply means that you know what you're doing, you know that what you're doing may have adverse consequences, both for yourself and as far as other people are concerned. You know you're hurting other people, but it does not mean that you know why you are doing all these things, nor does it mean that you can control your actions. One should make a distinction, which very few self-styled experts make, between purposeful and intentional. The narcissist's actions, misconduct, misbehavior, controlling behaviors, abuse, all these are purposeful. In other words, they fulfill some purpose, but they're not intentional. Psychopathic abuse is both goal-oriented, purposeful, and intentional, premeditated, deliberate. Narcissistic abuse is purposeful, but not intentional. Unconscious action that is motivated by unconscious psychodynamics, psychological processes, can definitely be purposeful. Animals are purposeful, viruses are purposeful. Purposefulness simply means that a specific action yields specific outcomes, that there is a monovalent connection between actions and outcomes. It does not mean that there is any kind of conscious control. Deliberateness premeditation, intention. It doesn't mean any of this. So narcissists are like some kind of machinery. They are programmed in advance, full of bugs and glitches. They carry out the advanced programming time and again. This is known as repetition compulsion. They're fully aware of what they're doing. They can choose right from wrong. They prefer not to. They don't care. In prison, for example, or in the army, in the military, they are totally different. So obviously, they can maintain behavioral control and effect behavioral modification. All this is true, and that's why narcissists should be held accountable for their actions, criminally and morally. However, at the same time, the narcissist goes through the motions, harms people, hurts people, abuses people, torments people, tortures people, exploits people, goes through the motions, is able to turn all this off, but he is not aware at all. He can't tell you why he's doing any of this. He is totally divorced and detached from his internal reality, and by the way, from external reality as well. Narcissism, pathological narcissism, is a close kin of psychosis, as Otto Kernberg had observed. Okay, having said all this, how does the narcissist perceive his own actions? Narcissists are aware of their actions, they know what they're doing is wrong, etc., etc. But how do they perceive this? What stories do they tell themselves? Which are the narratives that they construct to feel comfortable with themselves, egosyntonic, to feel good with themselves? So, narcissists, as an overarching statement, narcissists do not perceive their actions as abuse. They do not consider what they are doing to be wrong. They may know it's wrong, but they say other people think it's wrong. I don't think it's wrong. In other words, they place themselves above the law. Exactly like psychopaths, narcissists are a law unto themselves. This is known as contumaciousness. So while the narcissist is able to say, most people consider what I'm doing to be wrong, at the same time, he would have a kind of psychological defense. And he would say, but I do not consider it to be wrong. They are wrong about this action being wrong. So whatever it is that I'm doing that other people think is wrong, the law thinks it's wrong, society thinks it's wrong, they're all wrong. I'm right. And I'm always right, of course, because I'm infallible and I'm godlike and I'm omniscient. So the first line of defense in pathological narcissism is to devalue everything and everyone else, to insist that other people, society at large, institutions and so on, they are somehow inferior intellectually and morally. They are incapable of exercising judgment and rendering a moral verdict. So yes, everyone thinks it's wrong. I, the narcissist, I'm a superior being. I'm endowed with divine qualities, and I'm telling you it's not wrong. It's actually right to do this. That's the first line of defense. The second line of defense is casting everything, all these behaviors, as benevolent altruism, a kind of tough love. I am doing all this, the narcissist would say, to wake you up. I am doing all this to alert you to something. I am doing all this to make you a better person. I'm doing all this to improve you, to educate you, to elevate you, to push you, to push you to be ambitious and to accomplish things. I'm doing all this for your sake. I'm abusing you. I'm verbally taunting you. I'm humiliating you. I'm shaming you. I'm attacking you. I'm undermining you. Whatever it is that I'm doing that you may think is evil and abusive, you're wrong. I'm doing all this for your sake, because I love you, because I care for you, because I want you to be better, to be more accomplished, to feel good. I'm catering to your well-being and welfare in doing whatever it is that I'm doing. And this is a form of prosocial communal reframing of the abuse. And the narcissist says, yes, an outside observer on a superficial level may reach a conclusion that my actions are abusive, harmful, disempathic, that there is no compassion here, no caring, and so on. But all these external observations are wrong because they are surface observations and they don't take into account my motivation. And my motivation, says the narcissist, counterfactually, fantastically, he just believes so, but they're not real. But he says, my motivation is to help people, more specifically, to help my intimate partner, to help my children, to help my neighbors, to help my nation, to help my colleagues. I'm there to help. I'm a rescuer. I'm a savior. I'm a healer. I'm a fixer. I'm a leader. Natural born. And I'm there because I'm superior. And I take pity. And I have compassion for my inferior compatriots, my inferior family members, my inferior friends and colleagues and so on. And all I want to do is bring them to my level, albeit impossible, but somehow elevate them, open their eyes, educate them, improve them somehow. Hence the abuse, it's just tough love. The next line of defense is, whatever it is that I'm doing, says the narcissist, however abusive it may appear, however harmful, however torturous, however wicked and evil, whatever it is that I'm doing is necessary. It's a corrective measure. And I'm doing this in order to avoid even worse outcomes, adverse outcomes. I know that what I'm doing right now is difficult, even for me, is horrible, looks bad, but I'm doing it because I know that I'm the one who has to carry the burden. I'm the one who has to pay the price. I'm self-sacrificial. I'm sacrificing myself in order to protect others, in order to prevent much worse outcomes. I'm doing this for the greater good. It's another form of prosocial or communal reframing. The next common claim of the narcissist is known as the victimhood stance or the victim stance. The narcissist says, my abuse is reactive. I mistreat people because they deserve it. I'm doing it as a survival strategy. It's a defense. I'm the one being abused. I'm the one being exploited. I'm the one being undermined. I'm the one under attack. And everything I'm doing is just a reaction. Now, my tormentors, the people who conspire against me, these malevolent, malicious forces and people and institutions, they are under the radar. They are passive-aggressive. They are subtle and surreptitious. It's very difficult to discern what they're doing. But I know what they're doing. It's a paranoid ideation stance. I know what they're doing. They're victimizing me. I'm this eternal victim. And I'm fighting back. And because I'm honest, not hypocritical, and open and direct and forthright, because of that, it appears as if I am the abuser. But actually, I am not the abuser. I'm the victim. I'm the victim, and I'm just fighting back for my rights, for my survival, for my well-being, for my peace of mind, for my mental health. That's all. The next line of defense of the narcissist, when I say a line of defense, I mean line of defense against shame, against self-recrimination, against guilt, against discomfort, and against the general condition known as ego dystony, not feeling comfortable, not feeling good with yourself. So these are the lines of defense. The narcissist rewrites and reframes everything, reinvents everything, his behaviors and misbehaviors and misconduct. All of these become very positive things, morally upright, commendable, justified, sublimated, socially commendable, so socially acceptable. So the narcissist rewrites the script so that his behaviors, which should have been frowned upon, is subject to criticism and opprobrium, are actually good behaviors. healthy behaviors, moral behaviors, justified behaviors. So one of the main lines of defense of the narcissist is, yeah, I did act aggressively. I did all this that is ascribed to me, attributed to me, but I did it as justified punishment or retribution. I've been wronged. I've been discriminated against. I've been humiliated. I've been shamed. I've been attacked. I've been undermined. I've been challenged. I'm subjected to the malintentions of hostile forces. There's a conspiracy against me, whatever. Whichever the case may be, it's just payback. This is all just punishment and retribution. I'm not vengeful. It's all about justice. I'm restoring justice. And the last line of defense is, my behavior is not particularly abusive. I don't harm people more than usual. My behavior is common. And I would even say, adds the narcissist, I would say that my behavior is a sign of honesty, candor, and forthrightness. I'm not hypocritical. There's no hypocrisy. Whatever it is that I'm doing, I'm straightforward. What you see is what you get in your face. Now, the psychopath would add to this another codicil. The psychopath would say, my victims had it coming. They were stupid. They were not vigilant. They asked for it. It's not my fault. Everyone would have taken advantage of this situation. Everyone would have behaved the same way, given the temptations. So you should blame my victims. They're responsible for engineering the entire environment and situation circumstances I found myself in. I reacted the way any normal person would. So this is the psychopathic defense. It's much less common with narcissists. As you see, narcissists are busy constantly reframing their decisions, their choices, their actions, their behaviors and misbehaviors, their interactions, interpersonal and other. They're constantly rewriting, reframing. They're busy. They're like script writers. Full-time job of reinventing the world, embedding it in some kind of self-justifying, self-enhancing, self-aggrandizing fantasy, where the narcissist is actually the good person, the morally upright individual, a prosocial, communal human being who is worthy only of praise and acclamation.